You grow up in a quiet, safe neighborhood, your streets lined with neatly trimmed hedges and parents who wave politely. You walk to a well-funded school where the teachers encourage you, where field trips and after-school programs are just a normal part of learning. You don't think much about it. It's just the way things are. One day, you overhear your parents talking about a new tutor. You don't really need one, but it'll give you a head start. So every Tuesday and Thursday, you sit at the dining room table while someone explains concepts in ways that somehow make the classroom seem easy. At 17, you're told you need a strong college application. You join a few clubs, do some community service, and because you can, you spend a summer abroad, broadening your perspective. Your SAT prep costs more than some families make in a month. You don't really think about it. It's just the way things are. At 18, you get into a top university. It's a celebration, proof that all your hard work paid off. You move into a campus where the buildings are older than your grandparents, and the students around you seem just like you. Driven, smart, accomplished. You don't notice at first that most of them also come from well-off families. That there are more students from the top 1% than from the entire bottom half of the income distribution. And 40% of your classmates came from private schools when only 7% of the country did. At 22, you graduate. You step into a job that pays well, partly because of your degree, but also because your uncle knew someone who was hiring. Your first paycheck is bigger than you expected. You think back to all the nights you stayed up studying, all the essays, the exams, the stress. You earned this. You deserve this. Right? But one night, as you scroll through your phone, a statistic stops you. A graduate of your school makes 50% more in their first year than a graduate from a lesser-known school. Not because they worked harder, not because they're smarter, just because of where they went. You start to see things you never noticed before. That in one city, a student studies in a classroom with floor-to-ceiling windows, state-of-the-art science labs, and personal college counselors. A few miles away, another student sits in a building with leaking ceilings, outdated textbooks, and a guidance counselor who oversees 400 students. That a child born in poverty is less likely to escape it now than at any point in the last 50 years. That meritocracy, the thing you've built your self-worth around, might not be real. You think about the kid who grew up in a different neighborhood, where schools didn't have the same resources, where no one paid for a tutor, where they worked a part-time job instead of joining debate club. You think about how they were just as smart, just as capable, just as ambitious, but they didn't have the same test scores, the same college, the same connections. And so they didn't get the same job. They didn't get the same life. And neither of you really had a choice in it. Harvard philosopher Michael Sandel calls this the tyranny of merit. He argues that even in a perfectly fair system where everyone truly has an equal chance, meritocracy still creates moral corruption. It tells those who succeed that they've earned everything on their own, and it tells those who struggle that their failure is entirely their fault. The winners inhale their own success, convinced of their superiority. The losers are left humiliated, believing they simply weren't good enough. Among the winners, Sandel writes, it generates hubris. Among the losers, humiliation and resentment. And that is what makes meritocracy not just flawed, but dangerous. It justifies inequality rather than questioning it. It doesn't ask whether the ladder is too steep, only whether everyone had the same chance to climb it. And once we believe the system is fair, we stop asking who built the ladder in the first place, or why some people were born already halfway up. Michel Foucault would take it even further. He argued that institutions, schools, exams, workplaces aren't just measuring merit, they're creating it. Merit, Foucault might say, is a construct, a system designed to sort and rank people under the illusion of fairness. The same tools that claim to evaluate potential are the ones that reinforce social hierarchy. If you grow up believing your place in society is earned, you're far less likely to question the forces that put you there. At first, this realization stings. It feels like it cheapens your achievements, like it turns your life into a series of lucky breaks rather than something you built with your own hands. But as the discomfort fades, something else should take its place. Gratitude. You didn't get here alone. None of us did. Your success was built on invisible scaffolding, circumstances you never controlled, opportunities you never had to ask for, safety nets that caught you before you even knew you were falling. And if that's true, then maybe the way forward isn't about justifying what you have, but about making sure people get the same chance. Maybe the point isn't guilt, but responsibility instead. Because if you acknowledge that the game was rigged in your favor, then you also have the power to change the rules, to build something better, fairer, more real. A world where the next generation's success isn't dictated before they're even born. A world where meritocracy isn't just a comforting myth. A world where it could actually be true.